So we log into the website with the username and password provided to you. Enter those, click the login button. You'll be taken to the dashboard. If you hover over the name of your site on the top black toolbar, then click on Visit Site, you will see the website. To make changes to the layout of this site, you click onto Edit Site on the top black toolbar. This will load up the site editor. So in the top here is what's called the cover image, which shows your photograph, text overlay and site title. We then have the navigation menu underneath, which will show you all of the pages and areas within your website. We then have the main content area, which is where your pages and posts will appear. And then we have the sidebar area with one or more sidebars depending on how your site is set up. And also there is a footer area available also. So on this screen we also have the block settings menu. If that's not showing on the right hand side here at the moment, so click on the cog icon if you don't see that, and then click onto block, and then whenever we select something on the website it will then give us some extra settings that can be made. And also when we select a block, then we also get what's called the block menu with some shortcuts to some settings also. So to select an item on the website we click onto it. However, there are some areas where there are more than one things that can be selected. So if it doesn't select what you require initially after a single click, click again and it will generally select what you need. You'll know it's selected when there is a blue border around the item that you've clicked on. So for example, if I click onto the site title, that's now selected and we can make any changes to the colors of this. So we come down to the block settings and we come down to color, click onto that. For the title of the website, it's a link to the home page, so we want to change the link color here. So we click onto that. This gives us the color picker, so we can select one of the default colors available, or we can customize the color to exactly what we need. So if we click onto the color swatch showing the color code, we get an extra little color picker window, and we can change the base color from this horizontal bar. So we can click and drag that to give us the color that we want, and then we can click and drag on this white circle to set the tone of that color. So when we're happy, that then shows us the color code for that specific item. So if you want to use that same color elsewhere in the website, it would be a good idea to write that color code down, or just enter it into a window somewhere so you've got that available to you later, and then you can use that in other places on the website. So when you're finished choosing the color, click away from the color picker to close it, and the color will be changed. So change the text color on the title here. On the cover image we also have a background to this element. So if we click just above the site title, click once, selects the title, click again, we'll select the actual cover image itself. So we've got a little bit of grey border around this image in this instance. So again, if we click on color on the block settings, we can then change that section, and you can see that's highlighted there. So I'm going to set the page to be this grey color, and I'm going to make a note of that color code so we can use that again later on. To replace the cover image itself, we click on to the image until it is selected. When it is selected, you'll see the blue border around the image only, and you'll see another copy of the image on the block settings menu. So to change the image, you click on replace on the block menu, and then you can either open the media library if you've already got a file on the system, or you can click upload to add a new one. Either way, you will see a screen very much like this one once you've uploaded, and then you can choose the appropriate image and click select, and it will then put it on as the homepage image. When you do that, you will need to come to the focal point picker on the block settings and drag this little circle to be the focal point, and you can see how the image is reacting there. So the image is too big to fit within the box, but you can set what area must be in focus. Just move that till you're happy with the results and then let go. We can also have a text overlay on the cover image. So we click onto the text and we can just edit this as we normally would in a word processor, etc. We can set the color of that text from the block settings. Not an ideal background photo to do this with, but you get an idea of what's possible. You can also set a background color on that as well, or you can have it clear just to show the image beneath. You do get a warning if the color combination is hard to read, so try and avoid those situations. If you do not want the text overlay, simply click into the box and delete any text which is there. If it says write title, then it means that that's empty, and that's just a prompt for you to put your own text within the box. Next we have the navigation menu. So again, we can click onto that. First click usually selects the last item, and then if you click again, it will select the whole navigation menu. You'll see that outlined in blue. And here again, we can change the colors in use, so we can come down to color on the block settings, expand that out. We've got two settings here. One is the text color and the other is the background color. So again, if we just change that slightly, you can see that the background color reacts in real time to whatever we're changing. And likewise, we've got the text color. So again, we can change that how we need to. You can also set the text size and the line height of that menu as well. And if you hover over any sub-menus you may have, you get a little preview of what those will look like as well. So we can add an item to the menu bar by clicking on the plus at the bottom right hand corner. It says add block, and then we can type in here either an address, a website on the internet, or a page or a post that's already existing on our own website. So I'll put that to our About Us web page, and we'll click onto that to add it in, and now you can see we've added on a new link into that menu. Likewise, we can remove items. Just click on the particular item to select it, come down to the block menu, click on the options button, and remove custom link. Removes it from the menu. We can reorder items in two separate ways. So the first is to select it, then you've got a left and a right arrow on the block menu, and that allows you to move items around on the menu. Likewise, if you hover over a sub menu and click on a sub item, you'll then have an up and a down item, so you can reorder those columns. An alternative way is to click onto the navigation menu itself. Then you've got this three-lined open list view button on the block menu. Click onto that. You'll get a little pop-up to represent your menu structure. And then in here, you've got an up and a down arrow again, or you can click and drag the item to be where it needs to be. And you can also move menu items to a sub-menu if you want to. Again, you can see all of the changes reflected behind. When you're finished reordering, click the cross at the top right to close the window, and there we've changed the menu structure. So I'll continue down the page, and we will now set the page background color to match the grey that we used in the top. So we come up to the top right and click on the Styles button here. Just close out of this little welcome to the editor information. Click onto colors, click onto background, and again we can change, either use a predetermined color or we can use a custom color based on the color picker. So we go back to our standard gray, and then we will set about changing the background color of the main content. So this is the main content window. This will be where your post or your page content appears on the live website. So we'll click onto that. You see it's selected, and again we come back to the settings. We can change the color of the background and the text, however we need to do. And I'll set this to be a custom color, which is very nearly off-white. So we can see that the color code there is F0, F0, F0. So I'll accept that change, and then I'll click onto the sidebar. So I want to make the background of the sidebar to be the same off-white color. So we'll click onto that. Clicking once selects the whole column. Clicking again on a sidebar selects the individual content itself. So then again, if we come up to color on the block settings, we can click onto background. Of course, we can choose the default color, or we can go in and apply that customized color. So we'll click onto the color swatch. We'll come down to the little toggle for show detailed inputs, and then we can type into this box our color code. And now we have the same grey, the same off-white color that we had on the main content. So we need to repeat that for each of the boxes that we have on our website, as they're all independent. So again, we just come through, click onto background on the color swatch, open the settings, and then enter that code. Select the next one. Same thing again. And finally, the last box. Okay. So those boxes are now got all the same background color. And on this website, we've also got a footer menu. So we can click on the footer. Again, clicking once selects the area. So click again actually selects the footer itself. And we've got the color option to go into background, color swatch, settings, add in that number. Click away to close the color picker, and now everything is the same basic color. So as we're making changes to the website, we can preview those changes. So what you're seeing on the screen here is a representation of what you'll see on the on a desktop computer. You can change that by the preview button at the top right, and you can set that to either tablet or mobile. So here is a representation of what the site will look like on a mobile. These modes can only be used to check the content and see what the site looks like. Any changes should be made on the desktop mode. So we'll revert back to desktop, and that allows you to change the look and the feel of the website. You can change any colors that you like. Just pay attention to the contrast and any warnings about text being hard to read. Try and keep it quite a high contrast, but apart from that, once you're finished making any changes to the website, you then click on the save button at the top right. It'll give you a quick summary of what's been changed, but then you just click on save again. Site updated will show in the bottom left, and then you can click the white W to return back to the dashboard. This will close the site editor, and then we can hover over the name of our site, click on visit site, and we can just make sure that everything is as we think it should be.